We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
In the spirit of reconciliation, the Theatre Thoughts podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all traditional custodians of the land on which our episodes are recorded.
We're very much like the age that these girls are, like in the play, we were that age at that time.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very much, for me, it's Kate's love letter to the way that young women of our age grew up and the difficulties that presented, but also like the real like joyful relationships that could be built on the back of something silly like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's like you can almost, it could have been anything. It's about the friendship that springs out of like ripping it apart and talking about every little thing about it.
You're listening to the Theatre Thoughts podcast, where we dive deep into the world of theatre and celebrate the magic of the stage. I'm your host, Justin Clark, and I'm here to guide you through insightful conversations, behind-the-scenes stories, and thought-provoking discussions about everything theatre related. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to remind you to connect with us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram at TheatreThoughtsAUS and TTPod_official for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and exclusive interviews. You can also find us on TikTok at Theatre Thoughts Australia for even more theatre goodness. And if you'd like to support the podcast and gain access to exclusive content, consider subscribing to our Patreon. So whether you're a seasoned theatregoer or just starting your journey, please sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode of the Theatre Thoughts podcast.
Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Theatre Thoughts podcast. We're in studio today, which I'm very excited about. I have my two favourite creatives back with us today. We have Lily Hayman and Tyler Fitzpatrick. Thank you so much for jumping back on.
Oh my God, Justin, that's very nice.
Oh, stop it.
You're our favourite podcaster.
Oh my goodness.
Scandal.
There's so much love in this room.
Oh yeah, true.
You guys have been on other podcasts before.
Oh no, but also have friends who have podcasts. But it's fine. I
It's
think
fine.
we can say Justin's
It's
our
fine.
fave.
Favourites. All the love aside, welcome back.
Oh,
We're
thank
in
you.
studio. This is the first time I've actually used this space, so this is all very fun.
It's very fun.
It's very fun.
Yeah, first time we've been in a studio setting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exciting.
Good.
Yeah.
But you're here to talk about your name
Yeah.
today, which is coming to KXT this year on the 14th to 29th of June, which is very
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Now, I know we've already talked about you guys both before, but what have you been up to recently? Because I know, Tyler, you've been very busy at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit. I've been on a very small show called The Lewis Trilogy at Griffin Theatre Company, which, as it sounds like, is 3 shows in one, which is like the big finale for the SBW stables. It's like the last show before the huge renovations, and I was stage managing that, which was like the last 6 months of my life. Like,
Yeah.
there's not really been anything else until like the last couple of weeks, but it's just been trilogy.
Oh yeah, and then she jumped straight. She's got a show that opened last night and a show that's opening, like entered previews on the same night. Like it's silly.
It's
silly
crazy.
Person.
Yeah,
In
I love
demand.
that
you gotta
energy.
keep going.
I love that energy.
Keep going.
Because that's the same as me. I've been like working like different jobs and then I've stopped for a bit and I literally have just gone like, what do I do with my life? What is all this time that I have now?
Yeah, it was like that show was so big and it's just so like all consuming that it was like
Yeah.
better have things to do after because there's going to be
Yeah,
a
big drop off.
big hole in
Yeah.
in my life. So yeah.
So
keeping
3 shows in a day. Now I remember
Yeah.
when I was looking at it and I was like, is it 1 show a day? Like is in one like every 2 weeks? And it's like, no, it was 3 in a day.
Yeah.
What was that like as a stage manager?
It was ridiculous. So we did like each show in the weeknights, and then on the weekends we did the big 3 back to back. And like
Right.
honestly, doing the big back to back was probably easier than doing the individual shows. And I
Yeah.
think as well, like for an audience experience, I think watching them back to back was so much more fulfilling and exciting, and it was like a huge event. It felt like this was the show that this is what we made it for. Like we rehearsed the show as a trilogy. The shows were rewritten for the trilogy.
Yeah.
As a stage manager, it was exhausting. Like that's like a 14-hour day from
That's massive.
getting in, because you have to reset the set as well. Like it's the same base set, but it changed during the 3 shows.
Yeah.
So you have to go back to the beginning as well. And we would typically finish the Friday night on the last show. So you'd have to
Okay.
go back to the first
Oh
show.
my goodness.
So we'd have to reset it. I operated all of the shows, and there were 8 cast members between
Wow.
like 2 dressing rooms, which like one is an office space. Like, so it's running up and backwards and forwards, and having a fantastic assistant stage manager, India, just being like, grab them from downstairs. They got to sing now. They got to dance now. They got to fight
my
call
God.
now. It was mayhem, but yeah, very fulfilling, and
Yeah.
I miss them a lot. Sad.
That's so amazing. Far
Yeah.
out. I can't even imagine what like the run sheet would look like for all 3 shows, you know?
Yeah, it's like the prompt copy was like, I mean, all of the shows before they were adapted were like 3 hours each, and they were all adapted to an hour and a half. So altogether, the scripts were that much, but I had to individually change scripts. Otherwise, I'd be like reading scripts that were that far apart from each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, like all of the cues for the lights and the sound were all on separate lists. So it was not like, it
Incredible.
wasn't like da 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 da. It was cool, new show, like turning a page on
Yeah, yeah.
on everything. So yeah, it was mental.
Mental.
Yeah, but very lucky the designers made it as easy as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And then
yeah.
obviously you're on 25A and KXT.
Yes.
Like this week. I am
Yes.
seeing both. Seeing Arat on Sunday and then the other one on Wednesday.
Wednesday's
Yeah,
opening.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like the 2 most different shows you could
Yeah.
throw yourself into. And I'm doing the lighting design for that, so it's good because it like a switch of the brain from like logistical to a creative
Yeah.
one. But yeah, they're very different shows.
I bet.
Raj is very stylistic and movement based and devised and very just it. What did Nicole, our friend Nicole Pingon, described it as being inside a painting.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it's like that, and then you've got the opposite of that, which is like a lounge room in Northern Ireland in the 70s at a wake with big cast, 10 people, all with Northern Irish accents and family drama.
Love it.
Comedy.
I'm very keen to see
Yeah,
him.
they're very, very good. I'm thrilled.
It's so good. I love it. Many hats is what you
Many
want.
hats.
And
Yeah.
then
Everything.
Lily as well. You've been working very hard behind the scenes at Purple Tape.
Yeah.
Tyler
Lots
as well.
going on. Yeah, we went to Adelaide Fringe earlier this year with Party Girl again,
Yes.
and have some. We're going,
Oh, go
yeah.
on, drop it.
We're going to Edinburgh, which is so exciting. Which should be out in the world by now. But yeah, we're going to Summer Hall in Edinburgh with Party Girl, which is really cool for the
Amazing.
whole month. We're doing 24
Summer
shows.
Hall.
Yeah.
Summer
Yeah,
Hall.
right. I remember walking past that last year.
Yeah. It's very, very exciting. It's a very cool venue. So
Yeah.
we're very lucky to be working in such a cool venue with so many cool artists in that program, which
Yeah.
is awesome. We just get to make a bunch of friends in Edinburgh. So
Yeah.
getting all the ducks in the row for that, and then rehearsing Your Name at the moment. So it's just a bit, and then working at Shopfront. So just a few little like bits and bobs.
Showing
Yeah, just a
Parramatta.
few things.
Oh, and I work with a company called Operated Coin. So we are
do you?
working on a few things as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do like immersive tech theatre.
Yeah.
Nick Atkins is our like lead. He's a legend. He's amazing. And we just we made the show called Dancing Bear, which was an immersive spy thriller in Parramatta Square. So everyone got headphones and their own like phone. Like we gave everyone their own phone. And then the whole thing happens in WhatsApp. So they get messages and then they hear what's happening. And then the actors like enter the square. So the whole theatre performance happens without anyone else knowing that it's happening in the middle of a public space. Yeah. So it's like being in a spy thriller, which is really fun. And you have to like hunt down the person that we're looking for and things go wrong and all these things.
How fun.
But yeah, that's really fun. So I was running on that in March as well, which was really, really fun. So it's been a fun year, yeah.
And then Edinburgh. It's like, I'm so excited for you because I did the Fringe last year, like properly as like, you know, a media person. And that was a bloody marathon in itself.
Yeah,
you know?
you must have seen so many shows.
I did. I think I saw over 20 shows in like the space of the time I was there, which is only like 3 or 4 days really. It wasn't like, it wasn't all that long.
Oh my
God. So it was a bloody marathon to be honest, but it was amazing. I love the Fringe. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then
Fringe is
also
awesome.
like the thing I love about the Fringe, which I had in the back of my mind, and I had it when I saw Purple Tape, was how many good things get discovered there, you know, because that's why people go.
Totally.
You know, they want to get discovered and show their product and their shows. And I was like, Purple Tape, that's you, Party Girl, fits on like an ABC style Fleabag show. And I was just like, come on.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
We're hoping, because Summer Hall is like a really cool venue. So we're that's the plan. We're going to go over and see what happens, really, and just do it. But
and we're there for the entire month.
Oh, you're going the whole month?
the whole month.
Incredible.
Yeah, like, and the
24
show
shows.
is on the whole month.
Oh, wow. Good on you.
We have 2 nights off, two
Yeah.
Mondays off.
Two
That's it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so that's going to be a wild.
That's
gonna be a
incredible.
time.
You're going to meet so
It's
many
gonna be so
people.
cool. Yeah, it's going to be, and I've never even been to Europe, let alone.
Yeah.
Oh, haven't
Same.
you?
No.
Same.
Oh, my God.
So it's
Yeah.
a big moment. I've been to Asia, but I haven't been to Europe.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'll give you some recs.
Yes,
please.
please.
Oh my
Some place
gosh.
to go.
Yes, I'm keen as to
You got to put some
especially about
hiking
food.
boots on and you got to go up to Arthur's Seat.
Oh, yes.
Yep, get some good hiking boots, go all the way up.
Kate Gore
Yes.
told me, she was like, you need proper shoes because
Yeah.
the cobblestones, like, you'll hurt your
Oh.
feet.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I didn't even think about shoes.
I think we went on New Year's. I went there for Hogmanay a couple of years
Ooh.
back, way back. And then we did Arthur's Seat on New Year's Day.
Oh, wow.
Do not recommend on after Hogmanay, but it was cold but amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for you.
I want to get tickets to the tattoo as well, like the military tattoo with
yes,
the drumming.
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
definitely.
like not like I think it'll be really cool, but
Yeah.
I mostly want to go because that's my dad's like biggest dream is to
Oh,
go and
okay.
see the
Oh.
military tattoo. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I should go
Yeah.
to like rub it in his face. No,
Yeah.
so that he can live it out
Yeah.
Aw.
through me.
I love
But
it.
yeah,
That's so
it's
sweet.
pretty cool.
I'm excited. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well,
cool.
let's move on to then our theatre thoughts questions.
Yes.
Okay. So you know the drill, off the top of your head sort of questions, okay? So, regular one, what's the best show you've seen recently?
Mine's actually it's a little bit of nepotism, but the Lewis trilogy, because it genuinely was like going to see 3 shows in a day, 3 very good shows, excellent cast, and like it was like genuinely just like stepping into like a love of theatre again. Like it was like sometimes I guess when you're working in theatre, you can really like move towards the like or more experimental work because like you see so much theatre. So like really classically well done plays, like it's like, oh, that was cool, yeah. But like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to see something a bit different now. That really made me go like, oh, 3 really, really well done plays, immersing myself in it all day. I was just like in heaven. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Ooh, like that.
Oh, that's very nice. You did see a very, very good show as well. That one was particularly really
Yeah?
good. Yeah.
Oh, don't you love that?
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
What have I seen recently? Well, I've been on this
Yeah,
show.
you've been on so many shows.
Yeah. Well, I watched Lose to Win
Oh, yeah, I went and saw that.
last week for opening
yeah.
at Belvoir. And I just think Mandela is an amazing storyteller. And I was like, I could just listen to you for hours and hours.
Yeah.
And just like the passion and
Wasn't it
just the-
beautiful?
yeah. And I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Yeah, I teared up at the end. I've been particularly emotional recently. I watched like Baby Reindeer and I cried in that.
Oh,
And
I'm
that
only
was,
halfway
like,
through.
I haven't started.
It was one line towards the end. For those who know the line, it's when you'll find it. It's when he sees his dad at the end, and the dad says this one line, and I broke down crying. I was just like, it was just like, oh. Anyway, but then I was particularly emotional. I saw Lose to Win, and it was the line he said after all his story about coming, you know, over from Africa and coming here, and then it was where he went out in Blacktown and he talked about the racism that he experienced, and his big dream was coming here, and then he experienced this racism, and I just went, oh, ouch! Like it was really sad,
Yeah.
but also really like joyful. What a joyful show!
Yeah. I mean, you like walk up the stairs and there's drumming and you're just like,
Awesome.
yes. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, number 2 was I've just forgotten my own question. It was what's your most rewarding theatre experience that you guys have had? Most rewarding.
That's such a good
Being
question.
in or watching?
Oh, it could be either.
Oh,
Yeah.
Spin.
I don't know the answer
that's a
to
twist
either.
on
I'm
that
just
question.
trying to buy time.
Yeah.
I feel like we work in youth arts. We work at Shopfront Arts
Yes.
Co-op, and I feel like that in itself is a pretty you get a lot of rewarding moments working in youth arts with young people. And there was a moment at the top of this year where a show that we did at Shopfront that Nat Rose directed, Ty was the production manager, was called The Lies We Were Told, won the Sydney Theatre Award for the young people category.
Yes.
And it was so funny, but it was beautiful and funny. But like we had brought all the young people there, and I remember before the ceremony, I was just like, we're not going to win. Like, I just like had this feeling. I was like, oh, like it's not going to happen. Like it's so cool that we got nominated, but it's not going to happen. Like it's going to go to like the ATYP show or something. Like it's not going to happen. Why did we bring all these young people here? Like, oh my god, they're all going to be so upset. And then they won, and like all of them just like rose to their feet, and like I did too. I was like screaming and like and it just watching them feel like the validation of that and feel like they had been seen by this industry that they are so interested in and so have so much respect for. And they were in this room and they were like pointing out people, and it was like
that's
that
cute,
feeling as
isn't it?
you as that high school
Yeah.
students, like that's like that's Kip Williams, that's Jess Arthur, that's like all those names
That's
that like
so
for them is like
good.
this huge celebrity thing.
Oh, of course.
And then watching them get up there, and then a young person did the acceptance speech.
Yeah.
Like none of the adults on the team talked. It was just the young
amazing.
people.
That's good.
And that was a real moment for me. I was just like, man, like theatre actually matters, and theatre has a real
Yeah.
big impact on people.
Yeah.
And yeah, those young people every day like just remind me why we do it. So
Yeah.
I think in general, Shopfront is a pretty rewarding theatre experience for me.
Yeah.
That's a very good
That
answer.
was a good one. Shout out to Shopfront. Well
Yeah,
Shop Run.
literally couldn't do anything without Shopfront.
No.
Oh god, that's a very good answer. What did I do on the last one? Like processing question answers. Oh god.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of
think
one.
one for me.
Yeah, that you have found rewarding.
The most rewarding for
Trying to
you,
think of
Tyler,
what you've come
was...
in. 7 Methods. You found that very rewarding.
That's true.
Yeah? Did you work on 7 Methods?
I did on the Malt House
No way.
season.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
that's like quite a like it's interesting watching a show and
Yeah.
loving it so much and just being like, oh my god, this is such an important story, and it's like making waves, you know, in this country and in this theatrical landscape specifically, and then being asked to work on the season in Melbourne
Yeah.
was just like, I remember I was driving and I saw the email come through,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, I could crash my car right now.
Oh,
I need
no.
to answer right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But going from, you know, watching it and loving it and then working on it and getting to, you know, that show is so technically heavy to stage manage and to operate. So it's kind of like Iolanthe and Chica and me with the tweets just going.
Incredible.
It feels almost like you're a part of it. So
Yeah.
that was amazing, and just seeing all the love that show is still getting. That was like January last year, and Chica just won her Green Room Award
Oh,
for it. So
yeah.
it's just like
Well deserved.
so well deserved.
And then
So-
Heartbreak High as well.
oh my god, love.
You know, it's funny
That's
because I watched Heartbreak High season 2, and then I went to see the new Godzilla movie like probably the next day, and then her and whoever plays the principal, I forget her name, but
oh,
they
Rachel House.
yeah, they both popped up in Godzilla, and I was
I
just
did
like,
not know that.
"What is going on here?" And Chica was also a teacher in the Godzilla movie
Oh
for
my God,
like
I need to see
That is
one
so
scene,
iconic.
and I was just like, "What is going on?" They must have been filming in Australia or something to get them
fabulous.
both on.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. I
Yeah.
need to
That's an
watch
iconic
Godzilla now. I'm just
pairing.
gonna be like, where is she?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's so cool.
It was just ironic because I finished it like literally the day before, and
Yeah.
I was just like, "There you are again."
There you are
There you are
again.
again.
Working, booked
Superstar.
and blessed. Booked
Well
and blessed.
deserved.
Sounds blessed.
Yeah.
But then the last question that I wanted to ask, it was themed towards your show, was if your life were a musical, what would it be?
That's hard.
I don't think my life fits any traditional musical that exists, like that existed, you know, traditional, not, what am I saying?
Yeah, it's not a traditional,
It's not
like an old
Sondheim,
school
you know,
yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
We're very, very different people. So, oh my God.
You and Stephen Sondheim are very different people.
We're very different people.
I don't
fair.
know. Every time I see you, I go,
Yeah.
Wow, Sondheim
Have a way with words.
resurrected. Yeah.
Obviously not.
That's
So
funny.
I would think maybe Fangirls
yes.
Is-
Slay.
closer to my life.
That's a good
I
answer.
was a fangirl growing up.
Yeah.
Like I had
Yeah.
like more posters than this room.
Incredible.
What?
More posters than like this size of this room.
I was like, there are no posters.
No, I just mean my
More posts, which means I had one
I had a
poster.
small postage stamp on the wall, but it was more than this.
No, it was there was so many posters on
Yeah,
the room.
okay.
And
I understand.
and
now.
my childhood room is still
Yeah, my room was like that too. It was like
Yeah.
posted, but then I also just like became obsessed with filling my wall up. So I had like an X-ray of mine up there. It was
No.
very,
Amazing.
very weird. Yeah, very cool stuff.
I had posters, but they were all film posters. They weren't like
Yeah.
musical posters
Right.
or anything like that. Yeah.
no,
love
mine
a
were
full poster.
people.
Yeah, right.
Like I used to get like
Yeah, the
poster
magazines.
books, magazines
Oh,
firstly,
yeah,
but then
yeah.
poster books, and I would slice the spine off.
Oh, wow.
So, and I would have two. I would have one that had to stay as the book, and one
Yeah.
that went up on
I
the wall.
love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Right.
they were Harry Potter ones,
Yeah.
and
Fangirls.
Glee,
Glee.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited for Fangirls
Yes.
too.
and One Direction.
That's
Get
my
to
Yeah.
UK.
I know.
Oh my God, it's so
They're going to
exciting.
When does it get there?
explode. Oh, it's very
Soon.
soon.
Will it be on when we're there?
I don't know. It might be a limited run.
We have to check. If
Yeah.
that's on when we're there, we have
Double
to see
check.
Because
that.
we are going to
Because it'll be a whole
London.
different production. Like, it'll
Yeah,
be so
I want to
different
see how
cast.
their
Yeah.
their accents.
Yeah, because they're
Are they
obviously
gonna
got to.
be-
They have to
That's-
do
they have
Aussie.
to do Aussie, yeah.
Surely.
yeah,
but
'cause
also
it
that's
has-
so exciting.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, I hope it's on when we're
unless
there.
Eve like lets them do American British and like kind
That's
of
what I'm
fits it towards
thinking.
like the British. But then
And
it's
he's just
very
there.
a very Australian play.
Totally. And it's
So-
like they've come out here, like there was no other way to get to them. Like I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
important
Yeah,
to the
that's
play.
the important thing, isn't it? Oh, that'll be
Fantastic.
interesting.
Yeah,
It
let's
is
see
very
if we're there at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome if we got to see that.
Well, you will be there during Hades Town. I do know that. Yeah, Hades Town will still be running, which I'm very
Oh.
friggin' jealous.
Well,
So,
I'm
yeah.
hoping that Sunset Boulevard production's still on.
Yeah,
Like, the
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
That won everything.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Mm.
So I was saying to Ty on the way here, I was like, if that is on while we're in London, because we're doing like a week or so in London after, I was like, if that's on while we're there, I would really like to see that show.
Yeah.
Because it would be, and then the Cabaret as well,
Oh,
if
you ought to
that's
see
still there,
Cabaret. Oh
because
my
that is
God.
apparently
So
amazing.
good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So good.
So it's just like that like immersive one.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm
incredible.
Very great. Oh, did you see
Yeah,
it?
I saw it when I was over there.
Oh my God.
I loved it. I didn't
Okay.
see it with Eddie Redmayne though.
Oh, yeah.
But I saw
He's
it.
on Broadway.
He's on
though, isn't he?
Broadway now.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
nominated
Cool.
for a Tony.
Oh,
slay.
And it's just so incredible. It's
That's
so
so cool.
immersive. It's like I loved everything about this. You know?
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's all these like big shows I want to see while we're there. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're gonna
Yeah,
find
yeah,
time
yeah.
and get there and
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure we
Yeah.
go to them. Yeah.
We've booked all the
Pretty
big
cool.
things now, so now it's itinerary time.
Yeah,
Now it's
exactly.
like putting money aside for shows.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, my show budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my show budget? How
Yeah.
much can we do?
Yeah. Get today ticks. Go
Yeah.
to the
Yeah,
TKTS
true.
booth.
Exactly.
Not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor us,
Yeah.
today ticks.
Yeah, we'll take one too. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sorry, we got distracted. But
What's
your
yours?
musical? Yeah.
Well, I just had a thought that maybe it is Glee Live, the 3D movie.
Glee Live?
It feels like
3D
the 3D concert
movie.
movie. That was a real moment in my life. I like fully got dressed up to go to the theater, and there was no one else there. It was like 4 of us. It was me, and I dragged 3 of
Perfect.
my friends along to go to it, and they didn't care at all. And there was no one else there. I was like, this is a big moment in life for everyone. What's going on? This is a cultural reset. Or a Harry Potter musical, which is like very
Correct.
much tied to Glee Live as
Yeah.
well. Like it's just Darren Criss in general.
Which we are going to see them.
That's true. The Tin Can
The Tin
Bros,
Can
which is like
Brothers.
so Starkid from a Harry
Yeah.
Potter musical. The Tin Can Bros are like kind of like a bunch of them have like another thing, which is the Tin Can Bros, and
no
they're going to be
way.
at
They're
Ed
gonna
Fringe
be
at the
in
same
Ed
time.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're like, let's find them.
That's so
I'm like,
cool.
I'm going. Sorry if we have a show. Like,
yeah, we'll have to like tag team. So
Yeah.
I'll operate sometimes so you can go, and then we'll switch
How
Yeah.
amazing.
so we can see it.
I think my favourite thing about the Fringe is just walking up and down the mile,
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
doing the
Exciting.
mile, and
Yeah.
just getting all the flyers and seeing people flyering and that.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
oh yeah,
So
Lucy
full
will
on.
be there with her wings on.
Of course
Yep.
she would. It'd
Yep.
be perfect.
out she goes.
Off you
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
Yeah. You can get her to play some songs out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Book
be
one of
wild.
those.
It's gonna be a big month for Lucy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Luce.
Have fun. I'm gonna pop over to Greece or something.
Yeah. Love that. Love that so much. Well, thank you so much. So we'll take a quick little break and then we'll talk about your name.
Yay!
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become? Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Cool. Well, let's then talk about your name. Now, I have to admit, don't know too much about it, which I love. I love going into something and don't know too much. So I'm just going to read out what's on the website.
Yeah.
Okay. So it says,
What is on the website?
in the year of our Lord 2013, 3 teenage friends are writing the next great classic work of fiction, a smutty fanfic about their favourite boy wizard. As the girls' story begins to unravel, their erotic masterpiece falls into the lap of their PDHPE teacher, Mr. Isaacs. Friendships are tested, careers are threatened, pleasure games are engorged. Please don't tell my mum.
Please
Wow.
Please don't tell my mum.
Get me a ticket.
It's a fun.
So where does
fun.
this come from?
So it's a fantastic new work written by Kate Babalo, which was her. She did the MFA writing at NIDA.
Yeah.
And finished, I guess, in the end of 2023, like because it finishes like mid-year.
Okay.
So she finished. Yeah. So she's just kind of fresh out of NIDA, and it was her major that she wrote, and we got given it during Tapeover because I was just like looking for scripts by new writers. And we did a reading in Tapeover, and it was just a hit. Like it was like I was sitting in there, and I was just like, oh, like this is great. And so then we chatted with Kate, and we're like, well, we'd love to make that. Yeah, we'll pitch that. We'd love to make that our show that we're going to pitch for next year. And she was keen, and she's the best. She's a really, really fabulous, funny new writer. Like she's just like I really feel like. I don't know that the indie space has that many like people that you're like, oh, that person like works comedy. Like that is a comedy writer.
Yeah,
Like I feel like we've got a lot of funny people.
Yeah.
But like I feel like a lot of us are like always like, to me, indie spaces like sometimes we always go for like the dramatic. I guess because in an indie space you're often telling your own story or something like that. So
Yeah, that's kind of what people write from, isn't it?
yeah, so sometimes you don't necessarily get those like absolutely bonkers comedies. And this is that. It is bizarre.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's half set in the fan fiction, so we like go in and we like spend
Love
time
it.
in the fan fiction world, and then half set outside with the PDHP teacher who's found this fanfic. And then
Insane.
the like fallout of like, oh my god, our teachers read our smut.
But
What's
also
gonna happen?
so relatable.
So
Yeah.
relatable, that panic.
Yeah.
The panic.
Yeah, so she's a fantastic new writer. Like I feel like we've like really, really lucky that we just like crossed paths early, because I feel like she'll go out there and be a pretty awesome working Australian writer.
Yeah.
She's pretty great.
How cool is that? So I guess now when you did like a little showcase, is there music involved, or did I make that up?
No, it's just like
Or was that just them reading it? Was it?
yeah, it was just a reading.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
right.
just a reading.
It looked
that
like
one.
they were going to sing. And
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
had to.
"They're doing a musical.
I wish. Oh my god. Well, who knows? Maybe don't give me
future.
ideas.
Yeah.
There could be a song or two. I think there's a lot of. We're in rehearsals now, so I'm like always pulling.
Lily's directing the show.
I am directing
Yeah, you're
yes.
directing it,
So
yep.
we're like in rehearsals, I'm always like, and it's just this show that like I feel like the further we go into it, the sillier it gets. Like it's just such a fun rehearsal process.
Yeah.
So even the other day, I was like, in Harry Potter, like in the soundtrack, all the like choral like singing that happens, like all the like. Sort of, I was like, I feel like that's coming in somewhere, and everyone
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh my
And I was
goodness.
like, "So just get ready for some choral singing, maybe." And
Yeah.
they were like, "Okay." So it's very outside. It's very magical. Everything just pops out of anywhere, including the style of the show. It just
Yeah.
like pops out of anywhere.
So I guess also with the show, like it is, like you said, it's about my favorite boy wizard, so Harry Potter. But I guess it's not about it.
No.
So and
Yeah.
I feel like with the fiction world, it's hard to escape Harry Potter. It's like anytime you touch anything that's magical or anything that's wizardry, they go, oh, so it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm trying to like scoot around it. And it's hard to escape that sort of shadow that it has now.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we are sort of leaning into it in a weird way. Like, I think the work itself is kind of like got moments of parodying.
Oh, totally.
Of parody.
Yeah.
But then also in the design and stuff like that, we often refer to the design of the show as Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, but on an independent theatre budget.
Love it.
So
Good.
so that's sort of like the some of the stylistic choices and some of the design elements will kind of, I mean, it's kind of that thing where you say you can't escape it. Like, we'll put them in robes, but then it's like Harry Potter. Like, kind of will just happen. So it's like you kind of have to lean into it a little bit.
I also think as well, what I love about the script is, it's not so much about Harry Potter or like, it's not really a love letter to Harry Potter in any way. It's very much, to me, a love letter to the fandom and community and art that like sprang out of Harry Potter, but also just in general from that time on the internet, like that 2013, 2014 time on Tumblr, and the way that young girls grew up through what was like, that was when I was coming up. That was when I was like, we're very much like the age that these girls are like in the play. We were that age at that time. Yeah. And so I think it's very much, for me, it's Kate's love letter to the way that young women of our age grew up and the difficulties that presented, but also like the real like joyful relationships that could be built on the back of something silly like Harry Potter. It's like you can almost, it could have been anything. It's about the friendship that springs out of like ripping it apart and talking about every little thing about it. And the obsession.
What if this did this instead of this?
Yeah,
literally.
So it's like a vehicle for obsession more than it is just like
I still remember like waiting outside the shops. My mum like let us go like have the day of school, and we waited outside the bookshop back when there were bookshops, and like literally waited for the doors to open so we could go and get our copy, and then we went like somewhere and just started reading it.
Literally, there's a famous story in my house as well, like because my sister had to go on camp the day after it came out, so we had to go and get it so she could read it on camp.
Yeah.
And there's this famous story that because it was it was Harry Potter 6. It was it was Half-Blood Prince.
Half-Blood.
Thank you. And she was reading it, and then this girl on her bus was like, "Can I just read the last page or two? Like I'm not going to read it. I just want to know what happens." Oh no, sorry, it was the final one. It was the final one. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it. Like I just want to know what happens. And so Stella let her, foolish, and because it's the 19 years later thing, and like so Stella heard the like stuff about like it came out like the all is well, like it, like all of that, and so Stella knew what was going to happen, and she was just so mad. Yeah. And she came back and she was just like storming around the house because I was little and I hadn't finished it yet, and so she couldn't explain why she was so like grumpy because like then she would have to kind of explain what happened on the bus, and then she didn't want to ruin it for me. So there's a famous story about my sister coming home from camp so upset, and I was just like, "It's so good." And, like, she didn't,
I
she was
still
just
remember
like,
I was at the bus stop and I had the book, and somebody was like, "Oh, it's the Half-Blood Prince," and someone went, "Oh, what about when Dumbledore dies?" And I went, "What?"
I still hesitate to say that now. And it's like,
and I'm like, surely we know it's been like 20 years.
Exactly. But it's just like you can't ruin that part of the book.
Oh, it was terrible.
You
tell
can't
people
say
about
things
that.
It broke me. I was so upset.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Although there was also, my mum used to read them to us as well. And the RAB locket, like I was like, that's Sirius's brother. Like as soon as
right.
I was like, that's Sirius's brother.
Yeah.
His name's Regulus. It's Alan. Like I was so like, I know what it is. And then it came out in book 7, and I was just like traipsing around the house. Like I was right. I got that little detail, and everyone was like, okay, shut up.
Oh my God.
But I guess, and I've like the elephant, like when anyone talks about Harry Potter now is obviously its creator, J.K. Rowling, and everything that she's coming out with, very anti-trans comments and so on. And you've got the actors who have distanced themselves and said like, well, it's not that right. I guess the question, and this is one I've had a lot, is how do you distance creator from creation? It's the whole Frankenstein, discussion that goes all the way back.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what Lily was talking about before, about how the community have taken Harry Potter and they've taken the bits that really relate and the most important themes in the show are friendship and love. The books,
The books,
friendship and love, and they've taken that and they've and the community is built on that rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Like she created it, but at the end of the day, the fandom and the community are all based on like the themes of the books, which are all kind of universal things. They just happen to have been placed in this magical world.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I do think it's interesting as well now, because obviously Harry Potter had, like, it's, as you say, it's inescapable. Like, its impact, like, it's kind of one of those, like, cultural things that just went everywhere. Like, it's, like, truly, like, universal kind of story that everyone knows about. But now that we're, like, kind of further away from that, and, like, the first generation that were reading the books as it came out, like all of us, are a bit older as well. I feel like as Tyler says, like, there's a community there and there's references, but I feel like necessarily the like going and supporting her in buying a book again or doing all of that, like, is less, like, people don't necessarily want to monetarily engage with it anymore, which I think is an interesting way of thinking about it. It's like, well, Harry Potter has, like, universally impacted my life and I will reference it without even thinking about it. Like,
of course.
It's in there.
It's just one of those embedded things.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, do I want to, like, do I need to go and buy that Deathly Hallows pendant when I probably have 7 of them somewhere in my house? Like, is there a way to, like, appreciate the movement that Harry Potter was, and then, but without, like, kind of continuing to support, that rhetoric?
Yeah, exactly.
Which she, like, is not is not great.
Kind of doubling down.
Yeah, very much doubling down. And it is also very interesting, like the way that she is, like, she started as this, like, kind of influential woman.
Oh, very
like,
much.
And everyone kind of looked up to her as this woman.
Yeah.
And then she's kind of taken that and weaponized it in a like, really gross way.
Yeah, it's really gross,
really
isn't it?
turfy way. And it's like, okay, like, maybe, like, also as a women-led company, it's there's like a few layers to, like, what are we, like, doing? So we've been talking a lot in the room as well about, like, having, like, some real engagement with like trans artists in our community as well, and
nice.
Just acknowledging the elephant in the room. I suppose.
Of course.
I think that's what you have to do with Harry Potter because it is so huge. It's
Yeah.
acknowledge the elephant in the room, take active steps to, like, not support what she has become and what that rhetoric has become, and, like, actively say we don't engage with that, we don't support that.
Yeah.
And like, make sure that that's clear and supported.
No, I like
think
that.
is our move.
Yeah. And also, like, with the supporting things in a monetary way, like, fan fiction in itself is already, like, distancing from itself from the original creator. It's like creating your own work off, like, an inspirational thought or point. So it's kind of like, at this stage, it's also already so many steps removed. And we're also at that stage where you say, like, where the first generation have already bought everything. So it's just kind of like everything now is like that passing over, the passing down. It becomes, again, that connection of family and love and friendships and swapping books and all of that stuff again, without having to really go back to the source.
Yeah, exactly.
It will be interesting to see how the legacy kind of is tainted by, like, like how much, because it was for a while, like, every generation found that love. It's like, I wonder if this generation that's coming right now will read it, or if it just won't happen.
You're right. I wonder if they'll go, oh, well, she's a very horrible person. Why would I be engaging in this book? Why are you engaging in this book? Well, you didn't grow up, like, on these books. And so, I think it's harder to distance yourself when you grew up on something. And then you go, oh, you've kind of ruined your legacy that you've made, which was so impactful for so many people. It's a valid discussion, and I love, like, you're integrating all these things into it as well, which is great, because obviously you are, like, your company is so focused on, you know, speaking out for voices in the feminist movements and so on, which I love.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, we like it. We like it. Yeah.
Well, I know we're coming to the end of our time, so I'd love for you guys, if you can, to just kind of wrap up what can audiences expect from your name? Like, what do you reckon they're going to take out of it?
Oh, lots of sore sides from laughing is the hope. I think there's a lot to take out of it. It's about how young women, like, at its core for me as the director, it's about how young women are often not given the chance to explore, like, who they are, what their sexuality is, without being sexualized by outside forces, by men in the general world, but by media, by like lots of different things. And so it's about that tension and about providing a space for those young women and like allowing them the agency, I guess, to take control of their own discoveries as they grow up, which is really beautiful. And then beyond that, just a lot of bizarre silliness.
Silliness.
Yeah, I think the silliness allows us to go to have a crack at that big thing, but mostly it's silly and fun. Yeah.
That's a very good answer. I
Always
don't know
the
if
two
I
of
can-
you, like,
can
your
expect.
silly humour as well. Which
Exactly.
Just kind of
Yeah.
imbued into it.
And
It's
also
very
just
much in there.
like,
And Kate's very funny.
Yeah.
oh my God, Kate's like, remember this time on Tumblr at this point in this month
That's
in this
crazy.
master.
And,
What?
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
do.
insane.
I
I
remember
remember
that.
that glitch. I remember the glitch.
How do you remember that?
It's crazy. Yeah, it is
Formative.
really like a testament to like the 2013 Tumblr era. And I think from a design perspective, we've somehow wound up in a situation where it's us designing the like
We love to do that.
doing
always
the
do
entire
that.
production design, which we always do. So now it's just like, what about if we do this and this and this, but this part is a gag.
Yeah.
So it's adding that into the design elements as well. It's
That's
like,
cool.
and it's everything has to live in these two worlds. So everyone will get one world and they'll get a very different world, and then there's some interesting like meshing
Yeah.
and bleeding of the two.
Nice.
So
yeah, I
yeah, some
think-
stupid gags.
I think Cursed Child on a KXT budget
Yeah.
is,
I love
is
that.
the tagline.
I think that's really
yeah,
clever.
it's
so
so
true.
true.
Yeah.
And it's that. It's like, I think it'll be like, there'll be a lot of like lame magic.
Yeah,
And
cool.
then
And
moments
then
of
magic.
real magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
That's
Yeah.
the show. So dumb. And Hatches on the floor.
I love that.
Don't
I
give
want
that away.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I'll beep
Spoilers.
it. I love lame magic. So
Yeah,
good.
it's so much lame magic. Very like, I feel like it's Penn and Teller Fool Us, except like the lame part, and then it's like, wait, how did that happen? It's like that.
Well, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to come and see it.
Yeah,
I
I can't wait.
definitely
Very
am.
exciting.
Well, it runs to the 14th to 29th of June. You can get tickets at kingsxtheatre.com, and it's all going to be in the description as well. So,
Yay.
how good fun. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. It's so good to see you and
in
chat.
IRL.
In
IRL.
That's internet
or-
speak.
It is
Yep.
internet speak.
A massive thank you to Tyler and Lily from Purple Tape Productions for joining us once again on the Theatre Thoughts podcast. Your Name by Kate Puballo, directed by Lily Hayman, will be presented at the KXT Theatre on Broadway from the 14th to the 29th of June. Party Girl will be presented at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for the entire month of the festival at Venue 26, Summer Hall at 9:20. Search for tickets at tickets.edfringe.com or by following the link in this episode's description. This episode was produced by Echidna Audio. Follow them on Instagram at Echidna Audio for all their audio services. Once again, if you enjoyed our podcast, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts and head to the link in this episode's description for our Instagram account, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. My name's Justin Clark, and I'll see you next time here on the Theatre Thoughts podcast.
Have you ever wondered how your favorite performer actually feels? Well, here's your chance. Welcome to The Quiet Part Out Loud with me, Bobby Steggert, Broadway actor and now a therapist to a whole host of Broadway creatives. Part interview, part therapy, this is not your typical podcast. We'll go right to the heart of things with some of your favorite artists, what they still struggle with, what lessons they've learned, what they haven't figured out yet. There's enormous power in saying the quiet part out loud. Are you listening?
I'm Victoria Cash. Thanks for calling the Lucky Land Hotline. If you feel like you do the same thing every day, press 1. If you're ready to have some serious fun for the chance to redeem some serious prizes, press 2. We heard you loud and clear. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com right now and play over 100 social casino-style games for free. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
Available to players in the U.S., excluding Washington and Michigan. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.